murder rate's skyrocketing. And I just want to look at you right now. Defund the police, the single dumbest political argument of the 21st century. Anyone who argued in favor of it doesn't deserve to still be a politician. In my opinion, they don't deserve to be voted for in this country. Okay? Murder rate's skyrocketing all over the place, many different cities. But what we have seen are two incredibly devastating recent murders that have gotten a great deal of attention. In New York, an Asian woman was standing on the side of the subway right there on inside the subway, and as the train came by, she's standing on the platform. She got shoved right in front of it by a crazy, deranged man who had no business being on the streets. She was struck and killed by the train, died, had no ability to defend herself, never saw that attack coming. She was 100% innocent. She is standing there on the subway platform and gets shoved directly in front of it. That is a terror that exists for many people who have ever taken the subway. New York, D.C., whatever city you might have lived in where a train comes in, if you've been standing nearby on the platform, you've probably thought at some point about the idea of getting shoved in front of it and how awful of a thing that would be to happen, because you really can't defend yourself very much if somebody makes the decision to do it. That happened in New York to a 40-year-old Asian woman. She's now dead. Simultaneously, almost, in L.A., a 24-year-old girl was working in a furniture store in a high-end neighborhood in Los Angeles, and a man walked into that store and killed her. She's in the store by herself, middle of the day, and she is murdered in cold blood in LA. And I have a lot of friends in Los Angeles. This is a murder that has totally shook all of Los Angeles. This was a UCLA grad, recent UCLA grad, working at a high-end LA furniture store. Her name is Brianna Kupfer, 24 years old, working in the Croft House. And middle of the afternoon, a stranger walked in and stabbed her to death, according to the LA Police Department. Now, they now have a suspect in this case, and the dad came out and he gave what I thought was, first of all, I can't imagine now as a father myself giving an interview when my totally innocent child has been murdered. But he said that local politicians were too lenient, crime has been rampant, and he said, and I think this is an important quote, "Our city leaders need to make smarter decisions about what they do with criminals and how they incarcerate them." This is what he told the New York Post. "I get it. There's a lot of racial injustice, but it doesn't change the fact that somebody who is doing evil shouldn't get a slap on the wrist. Unfortunately, this is what we are seeing now." So this girl who's 100% innocent was murdered, and there are unbelievable data points out there about how this came to pass and how it ended up occurring. They now have found, by the way, the killer of this 24-year-old girl. And stop me if this surprises you. The person who did it is a career criminal who has been arrested dozens of times. So this girl should be alive if our authorities had implemented correctly all of these details. By the way, the guy who did this, and they are looking for him, Sean Laval Smith, 31 years old, lengthy rap sheet, has been arrested both on the East Coast and the West Coast, and surprise me, and let me know, he was free on 2 different bonds, one from Charleston, South Carolina on a shooting charge, and another one he was bonded for a crime that he had committed in LA. This man had no business whatsoever being on the streets at all. It is a failure. It is a failure of our national public policy that career criminals are out there killing 100% innocent men and women all over this nation.